Greetings, family. Wake Up Hebrews coming to you with another video. We hope all is well on this Shabbat. We come to you bringing greetings in the highest name we know, the name of Yahweh Shah. We have a conclusion of our three-part series, the series that is called The Authenticity of World Rulership. That's what we're going to be dealing with today. The conclusion of authenticity of world rulership. We have to know how we got here, and we got to know how we're going to come out of it. Things are really upside down right now. There's a lot of problems all over the world. We just had another shooting on yesterday in Maryland. I believe it was 3 people that got killed. So we are really seeking the face of the Most High in these last times that we're living in the last days that we're living in. Treacherous times, perilous times. And things are not getting any better. They're only getting worse and worse as we proceed. We got the food shortage that's going on, and we want to encourage all of you, all of my listeners, that if you haven't started to try to accumulate any food, some food is better than no food. Try to get you something. I went to the grocery store myself, and I noticed that it was an increase just like at the gas station. As the gas prices goes up, so does the food prices. So I noticed an increase in food prices at the local grocery store. So as long as you can get the food, you're in good shape. At least you can get it as long as you got money to pay for it. But a lot of people are in a position where they don't have the finances or the funds to even pay for the food. So we are embarking upon world starvation. It's right around the corner. And those of us that are aware of what's going on, we have to understand that these things are not just going to just happen. It's not just happenstance. They're being caused to happen. This is a part of the order out of chaos. That's the subtopic that we want to talk about is order out of chaos. A lot of the problems that you see happening around the world, they're being caused. They're being provoked. We have masterminds behind the scene pulling strings like the Oz behind the strings, a little weakling behind the strings, but with power. You know, if you sit these elites in the middle of what we have to go through, they couldn't handle it. So we got people of power that are hiding behind all of the resources and all of the finances and all the money. But it's going to come down. All of these things going to come down because it's not created out of righteousness. So we're dealing with food shortages. We got food shortages going on. And we as a people, we have to try to do what we can to prepare ourselves for these food shortages that are happening all across the globe, not just here at our homes, but we have food shortages all over the world, and we have to be prepared for it because they're not going anywhere. They're going to be here for a minute. We have food shortages. So there you have just a little clip on food shortages. We got to do something about it. We got to try to. My plan is to try to have as much food on hand and try to grow food if you can. We started a little small garden in our backyard. We got a little area where we planted some food. So it's just something you just got to be aware of. This society is coming down. The Gentile rule is coming down. We're at the end of the Gentile rule. This is why you see so much that is happening at a short time, and they know that their reign is about over, so they're trying to do all that they can to sustain their rulership. This is why you see all the things like the Great Reset. They know that time is limited. This is why they're trying to hurry up and rush this thing in. That's why you got a lot of the food processing plants being set afire and different things like that, because they have an agenda, and if they're going to sustain their position, their elite position, they've got to do and take care of some initiatives that they want to get across before it's too late. They don't want to be the ones floating downstream with this downturn in the economy. They want to try to stay on top. But the bottom line is the Most High got their number. He knows what they have done, and they got to pay for all the things that they have done, all the atrocities and all of the terrible things that they have done against the people. Now it's not only against the people, but now they're doing it against the entire world. The world is suffering behind a lot of these things that these people are doing. I have a few video clips I want to share with you today before we go into the Word. I just like to kind of give us updates on what's happening in the world. They've got something that's going on in Haiti, something that happened in Nigeria. 50 people got massacred in Nigeria at a church service. We have so many things that are happening all at once. So they're still going on with their plan with order out of chaos. They're still trying to implement the order out of chaos. So they want to build things up so bad and make things catapult so quickly and badly until we start screaming and hollering for some kind of relief. But they're the wrong source to cry to. I've seen a pastor in Nigeria that was pleading because some of his colleagues had were killed in an incident. I'm going to show you that video if I can bring it up. Chaos in Nigeria. Let me see if this is it.
One of my colleagues, Reverend, was slaughtered with his wife and his children, and I'm right here. Look at women. Immediately they were communicating after the Fulani herdsmen have really burning down 2 villages. Then the soldiers came in, trying to cause confusion. And who are these army men that are using machine motorcycles? After they get the shoots, they will go. Will stand for us. We have nobody. Everybody, we are now ready to do the last prayer. Since Islamic agenda is taking over the nations, now live at the police station in Barkiladi. Look at those at the IDPs. We have nobody to stand, and we are the survivor. Now more IDPs are being added. Where did they want it to go? They have already signed. Our land has been relocated to them. They have signed our villages, have been relocated to Fulani husband, and nobody is talking. Even my colleagues, reverends, are keeping quiet. Women are dying every day. Men are dying. What do you want us to do? Please, please, I'm begging you, congressmen of London, please, I'm begging you, stand for the helpless. We have nobody.
Well, see, they're begging the wrong person. This is why it's important to turn to the Most High. You can't turn to the people that are actually maybe paying the people it's got to be some kind of benefit. They said let no catastrophe go to waste. So these people may hate the Christians anyway. The Muslim with the jihad, they go in and they do different things to massacre people, because I believe they hate Christians in Nigeria, in certain areas of Nigeria. And I've seen videos, terrible videos, where they go in and they set people on fire and do all kind of atrocities, terrible things to people. And this pastor is crying to the wrong people. He's crying to the people of France. Those people don't care anything about him or us. Look at what they did to Haiti. As a matter of fact, I got a clip that I'm going to share with you that shows that what they did in Haiti, some of the things that they caused, the pain and suffering that they caused the people of Haiti. Check this video out.
Of Haiti often makes headlines in the midst of crisis, but there's less attention paid to the factors underlying its status as the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere and one of the most unstable. The New York Times has conducted an unprecedented investigation into those root causes and is putting a harsh spotlight on Haiti's former colonizer, France. My colleague Ali Rogan has more.
To learn more about this sweeping investigation, I'm joined by Catherine Porter. She's the Toronto bureau chief of the New York Times, and she's been covering Haiti since its devastating 2010 earthquake and led the team that pored over centuries-old documents and archives for this story. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us. How did your team come up with this idea?
Well, as you mentioned, I've been in Haiti since 2010, and I think I've been back more than 30 times. And any journalist that spends any time in Haiti ask the question, like, why is it like this? Why is the poverty so bad? Why is the infrastructure so bad? And why is it so much worse in other countries around it? And the obvious answer is often given as corruption, which is true. But reading a book on one of my trips there, it mentioned this thing called the independence debt that Haiti had paid to France after winning its independence, had then been forced to pay in cash. And it just stirred it's planted a seed way back then. And I started looking for more and more information about this.
Yeah, and let's talk about how that independence debt came to be, because I think as some people know, Haiti was founded by former slaves. They overthrew their French colonial rulers in 1804, but not long after that, they ended up paying France. Why?
Yeah, they called it reparations, which is so mind-boggling now. 25 years, 1825, 21 years after the first Black nation of the Americas was formed, a battalion of French ships arrived with a message from the king, basically saying, either you give us money or prepare for war. And at that time, Haiti had been completely frozen out. America, the United States would not deal with it. Britain wouldn't acknowledge it. So facing war and desperate for international recognition, the president of Haiti at the time agreed.
Right, and you've dove into how much those so-called reparations would equal in today's money. You also looked into the value that was lost to the Haitian economy because of so much of this money and the interest on these payments going out of the Haitian economy, not going to Haitians. So tell us about those figures.
After we did all that research, we collected the figures, and we were able to extrapolate what the opportunity cost was to Haiti. So if Haiti hadn't grown, if its economy had stayed as stagnant as it had been throughout the 1800s, it would have added 21 billion US dollars to the economy today. If the economy of Haiti had been boosted and grown at the same rate as the average rate of Latin American countries around it, it would have been a staggering $115 billion.
Of course, the United States also has a long and sordid history with Haiti. What did you find out about that relationship?
Well, what was really interesting is that first you had these French colonial masters, and they held a tight grip on Haiti long after independence. And finally, the way that they held on to the financial strings of the country was through the Haitian National Bank. And soon enough, American banks took an interest in the Haitian National Bank because, as we saw increasingly, more and more bankers from around the world saw that this was a place that, despite how poor it was, they could get rich. So we discovered that one of the reasons the United States invaded Haiti and occupied it for a very long time, starting in 1917, was because a bank that is now known as Citigroup had really prodded the State Department to go in and secure its interests in the Haitian National Bank. And that then quickly developed into a full-fledged occupation. So part of the impetus was financial interests of Wall Street bankers.
Catherine Porter with the New York Times, thank you so much for joining us.
So we see that America had a part in Haiti's demise. Now, the bank that she named is really Citibank today. So a lot of these people that are rich and in the upper echelon of ruling and reigning, they had a part in all of us. They are propped up on top of our labor, the free labor, hundreds of years of free labor that they got out of us. And what's really so intriguing about this story is that the Haitian people are still paying. They are paying reparations to the slave owners, the people that had them enslaved. How in the world can you pay them reparations and you were the one enslaved? And to the amount of $150 billion, which is really probably much, much more than that, because these people have been wronged. They have been done any kind of way. And they are part of the remnant. They are the part of the people of the Most High. And we have to understand and notice that that curse fell on these people and still on them. This is why it's so important to be awakened. Just like the pastor that we seen that was crying and pleading to the people of France and pleading to all the British government and all of these people. Those are your oppressors. And those are the people that have caused you the pain and the suffering that you're going through. So the best thing is to plead to the Most High. Turn to the Most High and plead and ask Him. And that's why it's important. And that's why this channel is called Wake Up Hebrews, to try to wake up the people to understand that we have an obligation as a people. We are connected to the Most High. We are the ones that are to be the catalyst for the world. The world is waiting on us. And until we wake up totally, until we get into our rightful position, this thing going to go on and on and on. And I believe it's going to go on for a while, because we still have a lot of our people that are still asleep, still trusting in the Gentile reign and their rule, and still looking to them for everything. But we have to wake up and understand our importance in this whole ordeal. It was a slaughter in Nigeria. Now, these things that we're covering right now, these are black people, and more than likely, some of these people are our people, or the chosen people of the Most High. And I'm going to just share this clip with you of the people that were massacred in Nigeria. Check it out. I got a couple of clips I want you to see on that.
The big headline from Nigeria: a massacre in a church, a vicious attack that has left more than 50 people dead and raised some serious questions about the safety of Christians in this West African country. First, let's tell you what happened. On the 5th of June, a Catholic church in the town of Owo was about to conclude the Sunday Mass. Hundreds of worshippers were in attendance. They'd all come to celebrate Pentecost. It's a Christian festival celebrated on the 7th Sunday after Easter. The celebrations were disrupted by the sound of gunfire. A group of unknown assailants entered the church. They attacked the congregation with guns. They threw explosives at the worshippers. They killed dozens of people. The images are chilling. We advise viewer discretion. The pictures show streaks of blood on the floor, bloody fingerprints on the walls, church benches lying in disarray, the altar splintered into pieces, and sandals abandoned in a desperate rush to escape.
You have all these people that are slaughtered in this massacre. It's just my heart goes out. And this thing is just really getting started. This is only the beginning of the pain and the suffering and the sorrow that we're going through. So we must turn to the Most High. We got to wake up. We got to enter into prayer, continuous prayer, to try to counteract and be able to weather this storm that we're going through. So all of these people were murdered while they're trying to have a service. I believe they were trying to have a Pentecost service. It's 7 weeks after the so-called Easter, the Pentecost service that they were probably trying to have, and they were massacred. Just came in the church and just killed up people. So it's getting worse and worse. They're trying to implement gun laws against the people that have guns, but they don't show you all the times that the violence was counteracted because somebody had a gun, but they just want to show you the people that perpetrate evil with a gun. But the gun can deter some of that evil if enough people have a weapon to be able to counteract the evil that's being perpetrated against them. All right, we're about to get into the word here, but I want to share with you the murderous history of our oppressors. This is why the Most High has got to come in and do something about this, because these people, if they get their way, they're going to allow the enemy to just come in. They got this plan, what they want to do with the emissions. They got an agenda that they're trying to accomplish by calling fossil fuel, making it want to outlaw the fossil fuel that is so prevalent that we use for our daily activities. But this plan is really is equaling the Luciferian master plan. It's equaling all of these things that they trying to implement is really bringing chaos. And they want to get order out of this chaos by implementing all these plans, and want to charge you for CO2, want to charge you for oxygen. You might as well say these people are going much too far in these agendas that they're planning and trying to implement against the world. But I want to share with you another clip. And then we're gonna give you a few scriptures, and we're gonna move forward on from there. But before I go into this, we want to give you a little disclaimer, because it's a little graphic. Some of the things that's in this video that we're gonna show you a little graphic, and we want to give you this disclaimer because some viewers may find it offensive. But we still are dealing with the order out of chaos, because these people have a murderous history behind them. All right, let's take a look at this.
January 1945. As World War II comes to a close, the full horror of Hitler's final solution is exposed, with grotesque killing factories unparalleled in human history. Mass graves filled with corpses of men, women, and children, murdered by starvation, bullets, and poison gas. What could drive men to commit such atrocities against their fellow human beings?
The answer is the pseudoscience called eugenics, created and promoted by psychiatrists decades before the Nazis came to power.
The eugenics movement got started in 1883 with Francis Galton, and he felt that human beings should take evolution in their own hands, and that the most talented individuals, the most healthy individuals, the most attractive individuals should have more offspring.
There was great concern that people that they considered had poor genes were reproducing faster than the people they considered had good genes.
They felt that a medical solution might be the proper one. This is what led to the sterilization movement.
It resulted in sterilization of mentally ill people, sterilization of retarded people, sterilization of people we don't like politically and sociologically. So the problem is not with genetics. The problem is a pretend phony genetics used to justify inhumane social policies.
Though never proven as anything but theory, by the early part of the 20th century, eugenics had spread to almost 30 countries, from England to Brazil, Mexico, Sweden, Russia, and most notably, the United States, where forced sterilization was widely practiced.
Eugenics movement in Germany was somewhat different than the eugenics movement in the United States in that there were many more physicians and psychiatrists. Alfred Ploetz was one of the pioneers in the German eugenics movement and how to control the population of those whom he considered inferior. In 1905, along with his brother-in-law, Ernst Rudin, he established the first organization for racial hygiene.
Alle Nationen haben sich mit einer außergewöhnlich großen Menge an minderwertigen, schwachen, kranken und Verkrüppelten abzugeben. Durch kluge Gesetze über Sterilisation würden wir auch in der Lage sein, den vernünftigsten Weg der Zeugung herbeizuführen.
So we see that that's being practiced today. That same thing is their forefathers practiced to try to eliminate a nation of people. Do you think these people have gotten any better? Do you think that they are more loving today than what they were back then? I don't think so. I think these people are still the same, if not worse. This is why we have the food shortages. You saw in the clip I just showed you, they starved people to death, and then those that they couldn't starve to death, they shot and gassed and did all this stuff. Well, you know, as we get closer to the end, don't you know these things are going to escalate? It's going to get even worse and worse. So this is why we have this channel called Wake Up Hebrews, trying to wake up the people to the fact that these people don't love you. They don't love us. A lot of these shortages that we are experiencing, really we don't have to experience. If they, you know, they can open up ways and means for us to be able to be sustained. But these people got wicked hearts. You know, you can't get blood out of a turnip. You know, they're just wicked to the core, and we need help from on high. All right, we're going to continue on as we go forward. We want to look at the fact that if the elites can impose starvation on the world, what else are they capable of? These people are capable of doing some insurmountable wicked things to the masses of people. And we got to be ready. We got to be in a position to understand that and to let the world know that these people are not for our best interest. They're trying to prevent their collapse that's getting ready to happen, them being taken out of rulership. That's what they're trying to prevent. But it's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to prevent it. It's going to cave in on them. So they're trying to get order out of chaos. All right, let's move on to a few scriptures here. We're going to look into the word right now because that's the only thing that really is bringing us any kind of satisfaction, or bringing me any kind of satisfaction anyway. We're going to look in the book of Ezra, 2nd Ezra 15. Looking in the book of 2nd Ezra 15, we're going to start at the 3rd verse. And it reads, "Fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." So these people are cruel against us, and they are troubling a lot of people. A lot of our people are troubled when they see the hatred that's being poured out against us. When you looked at the massacre that's going over in Nigeria, you know, that's troubling. But we have the word to try to pull us out of that despair. See, this is what the word is for, to keep us from falling into despair. We don't want to just fall into that woe is me and, can't do anything about it. And, we could pray about it. We could fast about it. We could cause some changes if we come together. The scripture says, if my people which are called by my name, if we would humble ourselves and pray and seek his face and turn from our wicked ways, then will he hear from heaven and forgive our sins and heal our land. But there's something that we as a people have to do. All right, fear not the imaginations against thee. These people are imagining things. And you see the clip where they got the eugenics. They're imagining things and planning things to try to get rid of us. And that hasn't gone away. That hasn't gone away in the Agenda 2030. It's a lot in that you probably haven't seen or haven't heard. That's on the undisclosed portion of the writings that they have, that they're afraid to just bring it on out in the open. A lot of these things that they do behind the scenes, they don't just come out and tell you all the terrible things. They want to appear to the public that we're helping everybody. We're helping the environment by charging you for this carbon. We're charging you. Your body gives off carbon. So they're saying if we can eliminate so many people, that's going to take away some of the carbon. Maybe 100,000 people will account for me to fly my jet plane. We get rid of these 100,000 people. Maybe I can fly my plane and it'll be equalized. And then I won't have to park my jet plane. Just giving you a paraphrase and giving you a way that these people probably really think. Okay? Verse number 4 says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So this is why we as a people, we can't be afraid. We can't be fearful. Because the Bible says, for the fearful and the unbelieving all going to be cast into the lake of fire. So we can't be fearful. We can't be unbelief. We can't fall in unfaithfulness. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So we got to remain faithful. We got to endure to the end if we want to be saved. All right. Verse number 5 says, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Who said he's going to bring it? He's going to bring it. Now, the way that he does it, a lot of time when people turn away from the Most High, he turn them over to their enemy. Whoever their enemy is, he just give them over into their hand. And then at the end, he's got something in the layaway for the enemy to take care of them. So we don't want to fall in the wrong position and be on the punished side, but we want to be on the blessed side. We got to stay on the blessed side. So we got to stay faithful. We got to stay strong. We got to stay believing. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The sword, that's being deaf. Somebody going to be getting killed. And, sword is like the modern day pistol, a gun, a weapon, a bomb, or whatever. Then famine, death, and destruction. All right. Let's continue on. Verse number 6 says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So they're implementing a lot of these wicked things that they want to do. You can't even watch the TV without two men hugged up kissing, or two women, kissing, and that's the exceeding polluted wickedness that the scripture is talking about. All the terrible things that they're doing against people, and trying to do it in the name of sustaining the world. That's not right. Excuse me. All right. Let's continue on. Therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. So he's not going to be quiet about it. And he's going to speak this through us. So he needs a mouthpiece. Satan needs a mouthpiece, and the Most High needs a mouthpiece. Whose mouthpiece are you going to be? I'm going to speak up for the Most High. The people that are doing all these wicked agendas, they're Satan's mouthpiece. Listen to what he says, verse number 8 says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me. The souls of the just complain continually. And that's what we're doing right now. We're complaining. We're crying out to the Most High. And we're not going to hold our peace and be quiet. We're not going to do like the preacher that was on there crying for his friends and his members. That was a body that they was holding of a individual that was deceased. I don't believe they're going to have somebody up there just holding a body while they're trying to act like they're asleep. That was a deceased body. And he burst into a lamentation while he was pleading to these people. Well, that's the kind of cry that we need to be crying to the Most High for, because he's the only one that can give us the true relief that we need. All right, let's continue on. We're going to go over and in the book of Ezra, chapter number 16. We're going to go to Ezra chapter number 16 and 16 and 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon, Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. So it's naming various parts in the earth that a judgment is going to fall on. And, Babylon is America. We have a lot of Babylonian attributes that, everything that we do, the world tried to mimic and copy. So we're the modern day Babylon. Woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia, and woe unto thee, Egypt and Syria. All of these places are named. Gird up thyself with cloths and sacks of hair, and bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. So it's speaking to people that are outside of the will of the Most High. It's telling them to get ready, gird yourself, prepare yourself, because when this thing is released, as it's being released right now, a lot of things is really happening as we speak. A lot of terrible things happening. We just showed you all the people that were slain and killed, 50. Then you got the people in Haiti that are suffering. All right, let's see what the next verse says. A sword is sent unto you, and who may turn it back? So one scripture say that it's a great day coming, and who's going to be able to stand? This sword is sent upon you. And who's going to be able to turn it back? If the Most High release something, you got to be under his divine pavilion. You got to be under his divine protection. And this is what we are looking toward. This is what we're trying to steer our people to. Trusting in the Most High. Don't be praying to these people and crying to these folk because they don't love you. They got a new thing called the SADI. The grown folks are dying suddenly. They've got people are dying. Middle-aged people, older people are dying without any cause. But I got a pretty good idea why these people are starting to die. It just happened, these deaths have just risen and just went off the chain starting in 2021 on up until now. They're steady escalating, more people dying. I believe the insurance company said that we got a 40% raise in the amount of deaths. It may be higher than that now. And I see a lot of people that were once healthy, and within the last 1 or 2 years, their health is starting to fail. They're starting to having all kind of crazy symptoms. And I got a pretty good idea what's causing these sudden deaths among people that are in the middle age and not really that old. A lot of the older people that have gone on and died, but that were a part of this experiment. But we have to understand what's going on, what's happening, why. And we try to warn people. We try to, be there for the people. But sometimes people don't understand. They're still asleep, and therefore they fall victim. All right, let's continue on. Okay, verse number 4 says, "A fire is sent among you, who may quench it?" If the Most High send a fire, ain't nobody gonna be able to put it out. If it's time for this world to come down, if it's on his divine agenda, whoever he used and however he used, that's his business. He could use all these folk with all the money and make them think that they're getting their plan across, and make them think that our plan is working. But in the end, he's gonna come and give them the big payback. So nobody's gonna get away. The only people that are going to be safe in this whole thing is the ones that are under the umbrella of the Most High, those that are covered by his blood. Those are the only people that's going to be safe. Those that are filled with his spirit. Those are the only people that's going to come out okay on this whole ordeal that's going on. So don't fool yourself. Don't get yourself in a position where you think that crying out to them is going to help you, because when you do that, you receive whatever plagues that they're going to receive, because you trust in them. All right, let's continue on. The next scripture says, verse number 5, "Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?" You can't drive them away. Sometimes people, they may release something and may be the one that, initiate something. But sometimes when you release something, you can't. You open Pandora's box, you can't shut it back up. If you open the keys to the bottom of this pit, you can't stop the demons from coming out. They just keep on coming out. And you open up the pit, and then the demon attack you. That's usually how it happens. The person is summoning up these evil spirits. As soon as the evil spirit come, it attacks them. So we have to understand that we can't be in their lap and dealing with what they're dealing, and in the arms of the Most High too. We can't play both sides. All right. Next verse number 6 says, "May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it has begun to burn?" So the scripture is letting you know that once this thing is released, you can't control it. Once the Most High, and really, I often say this is my concept. Somebody may not agree with me. Tribulation can be caused by man. Man can go and break the dam. He can blow up the dam and flood the village, or he can release a disease in the land. He can put smallpox on blankets and give to people, and like he's trying to be kind to them, and cause all kind of disease. So a man can do some terrible things, can cause all kind of atrocities and tribulations on people. But the Most High is the one that's going to pour out the wrath. So sometimes people have it mixed up. They think that going through tribulation is, that's the wrath of God. Not totally. He has a hand in that also. But when he get ready to pour this wrath out, you ain't seen nothing yet, baby. The stuff that you think is bad right now, when the wrath of God is released in this earth, it's going to be like the world has never known. And you better be on the right side. All right? Let's continue on. The next verse 7 says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. So it's being strongly emphasized that once this is initiated, it ain't no going back. That's why I say that things are not getting back to normal. We're not getting ready to go back and everything get back to normal. That's not going to happen. It's according to these scriptures that we reading to you and sharing with you. It's not going back to normal. We're in a time now where these things are going to be meted out against the people that are perpetrating all these evil. They got to receive their recompense, a reward. All right, verse number 8 says, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? So when he send these things upon the earth, you just need to be in a place of protection. You need to be in a place of divine protection. You need to be under the safety zone. You need to be in a place where it won't harm you, a place where you can help others, a place where you can be an asset to deliverers. So we're in the situation where, we are in what they call order out of chaos, and we want to understand that these people, they want you to know that.
Eventually, the Goyim will be so angry with their governments, because we'll blame them for the resulting mess, that they'll gladly have us take over. We will then appoint a descendant of David to be the king of the world, and the remaining Goyim will bow down and sing his praises. Everyone will live in peace and obedient order under his glorious rule.
So they want you to understand that the way this whole thing is going, it's going to get so bad until the people are going to be screaming for some kind of relief. That's what they're part of their plan. If you wasn't listening at it, I could play it for you again. It's going to get so bad until people are going to be screaming, just like the minister that was begging for these people, help us, help us. No. You got to wake up, my friend. You got to wake up. You falling you're playing right into their hands what they want to get, order out of chaos. Listen to it one more time. I'll play it for you one more time.
Eventually, the Goyim will be so angry with their governments, because we'll blame them for the resulting mess, that they'll gladly have us take over. We will then appoint a descendant of David to be the king of the world, and the remaining Goyim will bow down and sing his praises. Everyone will live in peace and obedient order under his glorious rule.
So this is a Luciferian doctrine that these people have, and it's not designed for us. It's not something that we are going to get anything out of. See, this order out of chaos is a Luciferian doctrine, and it's underway. It's underway even as we speak, and I don't believe that they're backing up off of it. They're not going to retreat. They're in too deep. As a matter of fact, they're trying to make sure that they implement more and more pain and suffering. Look how gas has went up just in that short amount of time, and just bam. We're being hit with all of these high prices in the groceries and all of these things. So it's not getting ready to back up. So, my friend, let's prepare ourselves. We're in the last days, and it's not going to get any better, but we are on the winning side. The Most High going to take care of us. He's going to see to it that we are provided for. That's all I have for you today. We want to say Shalom and enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. Peace.